guys are liars and you're poisoning Americans. Fracking cannot be made safe. And I hold you personally responsible for poisoning America.
Democratic process, rather undemocratic process that is going on in Colorado right now. We've already oil and gas infiltrating my communities, my neighborhoods. What's going on, guys? No, actually, I mean, I think I have a right to talk to my governor.
Thank you very much.
This panel to take a strong stance against fracking. You're contributing to the environmental genocide against indigenous people. Please, Governor Hickenlooper, we need you to stand for us.
We don't have time to ignore the immediate needs of climate change. Natural gas is adding fuel to the fire. We can't go to natural gas. We can't go to coal. We don't have time. The urgent needs of climate change. We don't have time. Say no to fracking.
Proverbial curtain dropping.
Live. I'm live. Hi, I'm with the Young Turks. We're live right now, and so you were just inside the meeting, of the energy meeting with Hillary Clinton's energy advisor, and who else was there?
It was Governor Hickenlooper, my governor.
From Colorado?
Yep, from Colorado.
Okay. And what can you tell me what happened?
Yeah, he has put it, I mean, his policies, his support has put a chokehold on Colorado. We are experiencing an onslaught of the oil and gas industry. Bureau of Land Management leases for as little as $2 an acre. That cost to benefit ratio is way off, and it is contributing to the environmental genocide of indigenous people. I'm an indigenous woman.
Okay, and so were they receptive to your message at the meeting?
I locked eyes with Governor Hickenlooper. He definitely saw me.
Okay.
As I was screaming, Governor Hickenlooper, we need you. Please help us.
And so you didn't get a direct response to anything? Were you able to ask a question?
I'm not sure. I didn't ask a question because the time for asking nicely is over.
Oh, okay. And what do you think? What were they doing at that meeting? Like, what do you think was the point of them having that meeting?
Stroking the egos of companies like Anadarko that fund their bad policies and provide them with intel against nonviolent protesters.
Really?
Yep,
Okay.
Yep. You can see all the information's out there on the Intercept, how they've been targeting Colorado activists who are expressly nonviolent, putting us on FBI watch lists, for example, with intel from Anadarko.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
And so is there, what else would you like the people to know?
We need to keep it in the ground. We need a strong stance against fracking. We need a stop to it. We are leasing out our land for a cost that doesn't make sense. Indigenous people, the people whose land you all 867 watchers are on right now. We need acknowledgement, and if you're not going to respect indigenous resistance, you can expect our existence, you can expect our resistance.
Okay, and okay. All right, so thanks for talking with us, and I appreciate it. All right, so we're still here.
This is Anthony Rogers, right?
Hey, Anthony. We're up live on Facebook with the Young Turks, and you were just inside the meeting. Governor Hickenlooper from Colorado was there. Also, Hillary Clinton's energy advisor.
Trevor Hauser is her energy advisor, and he was her energy advisor also when she was Secretary of State. The governor from my state, Jay Inslee, Washington, was also up there, and yeah.
And so, what can you tell me what happened?
Well, basically, it was a greenwashing plan. To try to co-opt and appropriate some sort of message and keep spreading the myopia that natural gas is a clean source of energy.
Right, and it's not, as we know, it actually contributes more to global warming than...
Absolutely, to 86 times more potent than carbon dioxide and coal even, which they try to claim it's a bridge from.
Okay.
It's just a gangplank into climate death. As the sister just said, it's breaking sovereign treaties and committing slow violence and genocide against our indigenous sisters and brothers. It's disproportionately situated near communities of color, and this includes the blacker and browner you are, the more likely you are going to be situated near frack gas infrastructure, including fracking wastewater, including schools where children are going to school to enrich themselves. Their health is being impacted.
And so how many people would you say were at this meeting? Not onlookers, but people taking part?
Taking part in the audience, you mean?
No, I mean on
On our action.
yeah.
It was very well coordinated, and I'm just proud, as always, to stand with the fiercest and best activists and organizers in the world.
And were they receptive to your message? Did you get a chance to talk to any of them?
Well, you're going to talk to a brother next, who I assisted getting on stage to ask John Hickenlooper a direct question. Unfortunately, the governor refused to listen to a brother, to a constituent who is from a county, and I'm going to let him obviously speak for himself more, but wouldn't even look him in the eye. Right there, we just a simple question, and he wouldn't answer it. These are the Democrats. These are the people who claim to have the most progressive party platform in the party's history. If that is progressive, then I am Caucasian. Okay, and we're calling it Operation Accountability. We're going to call people out, and we're going to keep taking direct action because we're not extremists. The extremists are the people who think that it's okay to poison people's water, fresh water. You can't talk about Flint, Michigan, and using a process that takes 9.8 million gallons of fresh water. It would take only 5 fracking wells to supply the entire city of Flint with fresh water for the entire year. Wow. And that's just ridiculous. And then you can't talk about environmental justice in your platform and bringing indigenous people to the table when our sisters and brothers in New Mexico and Arizona, our Navajo sisters and brothers, are trying to live on 7 gallons of water a day because their water has been contaminated for 40, 50 years by uranium mining, and nothing being done about that. The Democrats are on notice, and they have to wake up. Okay, we're not falling for it anymore. Yeah, I appreciate Governor Inslee for putting a short-term moratorium on oil change going through Virginia, but that's not enough. We need federal recognition for indigenous communities who existed before this country and before this government did, so that they can make the decisions about their sovereign territory. And we also need this party to understand that African Americans, Latinos, Asians, the people who statistically care the most about climate change and frac communities, we are not going to come out and vote for you. You have to prove that our public health is just as important as our vote. I will remind the Democrats again, you have not won the white vote since Lyndon B. Johnson, and your average support for white votes when you're running for president is 39.1%. We are going to keep spreading the truth, and our numbers are just going to grow. And this also has to do with the fact that these same Democrats, calling this party platform progressive, called for the end of drilling in the Arctic with white polar bears, and called for the end of drilling in the Atlantic with its white New England clam chowder, but ignored and sacrificed the people of the Gulf South and the Gulf of Mexico who are fighting for their lives, who are being poisoned. A place called Cancer Alley exists there. Indigenous communities are literally being called the first federally recognized climate refugees because their land is disappearing at the rate of 1 football field an hour because of oil and gas drilling operations. The truth needs to be told, and we're going to keep telling the truth. Operation Accountability commences today.
And so do you think you had any impact on them today? Oh, fantastic. Start rolling.
I listen. Like they know. They're talking about us. They're calling us extremists. They are even refusing to hold their auctions for offshore drilling in person anymore. They're doing it online. So I believe, yes, we are having an impact, but this is just the beginning.
Okay, now who actually got to ask a question of Governor Hickenlooper?
My brother right here, who you should definitely talk to. So thank you.
Jimmy, my man.
Oh, here you go. Can you hold this? So hold it that way. Hi, what's your name?
Mickey, San Miguel.
Hey, now,
Colorado.
Now I understand you were inside the meeting, of the energy meeting, and you got a chance to ask a question of Governor of Colorado, Hickenlooper. And what was your question?
Essentially, my question was, I am a constituent of Colorado. So, basic, really simple question, and that was, with the undemocratic processes that are going on in Colorado right now, is Governor Hickenlooper ready to reinstate and protect communities and allow people to have the right to have a say whether oil and gas companies come into those neighborhoods and communities. And we see what's going on here in Colorado right now. You have two states, or rather 2 cities that are being sued, Longmont, Fort Collins, because one of them has a moratorium on fracking, the other one, through a democratic process, has a ban on fracking. So unfortunately now we have to pay legal fees and shit like that. So.
And so tell me about your interaction with Governor.
Yeah, he did make eye contact, stuff like that.
So when you
he didn't say anything though.
You asked him a direct question and he didn't respond to you?
He didn't respond. And obviously, he didn't respond. I don't know. He should respond, right, guys?
Yeah.
I mean, we disrupted the meeting a little bit, but I think we've come to a point where you know, we do have to disrupt these things. We're sick and tired of status quo politics, and when we mean status quo, we mean you know, we're not going to wait for you guys' time to answer our questions. We're actually going to, you know, confront you guys with those questions
So
in
like
an unconventional way.
You seem like you're as frustrated as John Lewis was when he decided to do a little Occupy movement on the floor of the Congress. And say, are you guys invoking that same kind of spirit? It's like you have to make a way where there is no way?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're paving a new way of trying to get through to these guys, man. Because with what's going on right now, it's hard to get a hold of them. I'm in Colorado. I try and send them emails. I try and you know, tweet him stuff like that. My concerns in my neighborhood, and I speak on behalf of, you know, a lot of people that in Colorado right now. We have fractivists on the ground right now, passing Initiative 7578. And we're gaining ground, and we know we're gaining ground because now they have attack ads, you know, fighting back against us. But I mean, we have. They better watch out, because the people are coming, man. When the people organize, we are very, very powerful.
Now, do you think that you doing this, you're disrupting meetings and being occupiers in a sense, will be met with the same kind of sentiment that John Lewis and the Congress would when they occupied Congress? Or do you think people will try to dismiss you?
It's, you know, people will try and dismiss us, but we have to change perspectives. They've occupied and infiltrated our communities, right? So the oil and gas companies have. And this is what we're talking about. We can't have these people coming and infiltrating our communities, trampling on people's rights when they say no, they don't want these things around our neighborhoods, because they are causing, you know, a bunch of stuff.
Now, Hillary Clinton's message is that, you know, fracking is bad, but it's okay if it's well regulated.
It's not okay, and you know, enough talk about regulation. It's time to like move forward. It's time to set a goal of banning fracking, not regulating fracking.
So regulating fracking doesn't work.
No, it's not going to work. No, I mean,
fracking is still fracking.
Fracking's still fracking, yeah. And whether or not we regulate it here in the United States, remember that she's pushed this stuff all over the world. We have China, many thousands of people dying a day in China, you know, because of air pollution and stuff caused from fossil fuels. I mean, it's like we've come to a point where we need to stop the use of fossil fuels in general. I mean, it's really simple. And the monopolization of the energy industries, I mean, these guys are really playing a huge part in destroying people's lives and not letting us have a choice of where we want to get our energy from.
So do you think you had a little bit of an impact today up there?
We rushed the stage, so absolutely. I think we had an impact.
Was John Rawls in there? Because I'm sure there was a chair flying.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, and volatile protests like we saw yesterday. You know, I was marching with Jill Stein yesterday. Super peaceful. I'm also covering and live streaming what we can. And you have Fox Business News put a lower third in there saying volatile protests. Come on, guys. Come on.
Lefties are pretty nonviolent. Right?
That's right, man.
All right, is there anything else you want to let the people know about this meeting and fracking and what you guys are doing in general?
Guys, everybody in Colorado, anybody out there, spread the word about the movement that's going on, the people that are organizing on the ground. We have
we're going to move to the street. Let's go.
Initiative 75 and 78, yes for health and safety over fracking. Get involved. You guys are the power of the movement. It's us, the people, that get involved, that empower each other to make the change. We hear it all the time that change comes from the bottom on up, and trust me, when you have these big oil companies now that are putting advertisements attacking the movements and the campaigns that are pushing this effort to make the change, you know we're making an impact, man. We don't have the money, but we have the people, yeah.
Okay, thanks for talking with us. Thanks for your activism.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it, you guys.
Anything else, Jay? You want to say?
Yeah, I would say thank you to the Young Turks for supporting. I would say everybody, please see Josh Fox's How to Let Go and Love All the Things Climate Can't Change. It will absolutely change your world. And you know, Anthony and I and David gave one of the most amazing pitches at the Democratic Platform Committee. But I want to say that you know, Trevor Hauser, you know, Hillary's energy advisors, the Bernie Sanders surrogates put together a very progressive and necessary and urgent platform to address fracking and climate change. And you know, systematically it was voted down by Carol Bronner and Trevor Hauser.
who both have ties to the oil and gas industry and are taking money.
So I would encourage everybody that this is all of us. This is not a partisan issue. This is our planet, and we have to address this urgently. Or I mean, look at 129 degrees in the Middle East. It's ridiculous. They're digging mass graves in Pakistan because of the heat. I mean, just turn on the news, man. Look around you. It's here.
Even the corporate media. And one more thing that I want to say is we have to hold everyone accountable when we're trying to get the justice that we deserve. And that includes people within our own movement. I'm going to say this publicly, and I don't care how much trouble I get into. Shame on you, League of Conservation Voters. Shame on you, LCV. Your acronym stands for Lax Climate Values. You continuously support people who have ties to the fracking industry. Carol Browner on your board of directors has ties to the fracking industry. You do not get to call yourself an environmental organization. And to the people who are giving money to that organization, do your research. Do your research, because these are not our friends. These are not our friends, okay? You cannot claim to call yourself environmental when you are supporting frackers. That doesn't make any sense at all. And you cannot have people, Secretary Clinton, on your energy policy team who have ties to the fracking industry. That would be like me asking David Duke to be on a civil rights commission. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. We're holding everybody accountable. Friends, foes, whatever. Because if we cannot hold our friends accountable, we have no business trying to hold the fossil fuel empire accountable. Do your research, people. LCV are not our friends.
What do they say to you? What's their response to all this? LCV.
I mean, you saw what happened when they endorsed Secretary Clinton before any other environmental group besides Friends of the Earth, who had the temerity and political valor to endorse Bernie Sanders. But like their membership plummeted. I mean, just look at their Facebook page on the day that they endorsed her. And then they also, in Pennsylvania, one of the places where our sisters and brothers are fighting so hard to end this poisonous practice, they endorsed Katie McGinty, who takes money from the oil and gas industry. How are you going to take them on if you're taking money from them? They have not offered any explanation for that. And listen, I mean, who am I? I'm just an African American activist, but I'm sorry.
The masters from the Kennedy School.
We are going to shut anything and anyone down that pushes poison, even quote unquote environmental conservation organizations. We're not falling for that anymore. And so, you can have your LCV for Hillary shirts, that's great, but you're not in green. But they should be in red for all the blood and all the suffering that is going on, whether it's our indigenous sisters and brothers, a slow form of violence. Climate change is a system of oppression. It's not about big storms and whatnot. It's a system of oppression, okay? It's racist, it's misogynist, it's patriarchal, it's homophobic, it's Islamophobic, and it forms the intersection of all kinds of injustice. You cannot address climate disruption without also addressing all forms of disruption or all forms of justice. So LCV, just like the DNC, you're on notice too.
Okay. Also, I would just say that it's just worth mentioning, and my name's David Braun. I'm with Americans Against Fracking, or one of the founders. And I would just say that it's important to note that fracking, and I know it's been said, fracking can not be made safe. 400,000 pounds of chemicals go into the ground in each and every frack job. On average, of those chemicals, 32% cause cancer, 43% are genetic disruptors, 58% are immune suppressants, and they're knowingly injecting this into containers that they know are unsafe. From the industry themselves, they tell us 5% of their well casings fail in the first year alone. 50% fail after 30 years. They're injecting these chemicals at 15,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. It takes 100 pounds of pressure per square inch to break the strongest bone in my body, my femur. They're doing it 100 times that amount. You cannot make fracking safe. Period. You can't clean up this industry. And currently, the Clinton administration is wholeheartedly embracing the gas industry and taking money from them.
The fact that we can't make fracking safe is why we need it out of our communities, which is why my name is Sabrina, by the way. That's why I am working on a couple of ballot initiatives in Colorado right now. They are 75 and 78. 75 will give the power back to local communities, because right now, because of the Supreme Court decision, the bans in Broomfield, the bans in Broomfield, Longmont, and Fort Collins were overturned, which takes away a local community's ability to regulate fracking, to put a moratorium on fracking. to ban fracking to protect their communities, to protect their people, to protect their children.
So you're saying you want more local control of what happens?
These 75 will give back local control to the communities and allow them to regulate in their own communities. 78 is 2,500-foot mandatory setbacks. That's from schools, homes, hospitals, drinking water sources.
And right now, what is the mandatory setback?
500 feet for occupied structures. If they're building new structures, it's only 350 feet, which is a problem in places like Thornton, where they're about to put one of the largest fracking plants in the nation, and they're about to build the low-income housing 350 feet away from that fracking plant. This plant is right next to an elementary school. You can literally, from one side of the elementary school, see the test rig on the other side.
Okay. So tell me the name of those bills again.
75 and 78.
Okay. And what do you want people of Colorado to do?
I want them to sign our petition to get it on the ballot and then go vote yes on 75 and 78 in November.
And how can they say, is there a website? How can they sign up? How can they sign up to your petition?
They can go to Yes for Health and Safety Over Fracking and figure out where our ballot, where we will have people out there getting signatures.
Okay. All right. Thanks for talking with us. I appreciate it. Tell me your name again.
Sabrina.
Okay, Sabrina.
And one last thing, Democrats. Pennsylvania is going to be important. Do you think that they're going to vote to frack in their own backyards? Please, you take a stand on this issue.
Okay, Jay, thanks for talking with us. All right, so that's our coverage here. There was a meeting here. We got to it late, but they got to it on time. They made the point that fracking is unsafe no matter how many regulations you put on it. They have some great ideas on how to keep it safer, keep it away from people, keep it away from residences. And it's, again, another good sign of activism here on the ground. The progressive movement is alive and well. Okay, thanks, you guys. That was great. Thanks for talking with us.
We got some great food.
Oh, hey, you know what? So are you putting it up to your YouTube page?
I already did. I'm going to send it to you. You can rip it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't know how to send it.
So you hit, yeah.
Shade?
Okay.
Shade.
Shade.
Yeah, shade. Yeah, you can rip it.
Yeah. Just send me a link and then I'll send it.
Yeah. So this is great. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably...
How do you turn it off? Okay.